My beloved child, the silence you are experiencing right now is not ordinary. There is a reason your heart keeps returning to their name even when you try to move on. There is a reason your mind replays old conversations in the middle of the night. And there is a reason you clicked on this video today. Because deep inside, you already feel that something bigger is happening behind their silence. Do not skip this video. Stay till the end because what you are about to hear may completely change the way you see this situation forever. The truth is heartbreaking, and once you understand it, you will never look at their silence the same way again. A few nights ago, while you were trying to convince yourself to forget them, they were doing something almost unbelievable. They opened your chat. Yes, your chat. They stared at your name for a long time without typing a single word. Their fingers moved across the screen again and again, but every message they tried to send was deleted before it reached you. Imagine that moment carefully. A person fighting with their own emotions while your name glows in front of them like a memory they cannot escape. You thought they stopped caring. You thought they became cold. But the reality is far more painful. They stopped texting because something inside them broke, and they did not know how to explain it to you. Listen carefully now because this is where everything changes. Most people disappear when they lose interest. But this person? They disappeared because the emotions became too strong. Yes, you heard that correctly. Sometimes people pull away not because love fades, but because it becomes overwhelming. They reached a point where every conversation with you started touching parts of their heart they were desperately trying to hide. Every text from you made them feel vulnerable. Every memory with you became heavier. And instead of opening up, they chose silence because silence felt safer than revealing how deeply they were hurting. My beloved child, there is something you never saw. Behind their delayed replies was exhaustion. Behind their dry messages was emotional chaos. Behind their distance was a storm they never explained to anyone. They smiled around others while secretly feeling lost inside. And one day, something happened that completely changed them. Something unexpected. Something painful. Since that moment, they have not been the same person anymore. That is why their energy shifted before their texting stopped. Your soul noticed it before your mind did. You felt something becoming colder. You sensed that strange emotional wall growing between you both. And no matter how hard you tried to ignore it, your heart kept whispering, something is wrong. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. The next truth is the one almost nobody realizes. Sometimes people distance themselves from the person they love most because they are terrified of becoming a burden. Read that again carefully. They convince themselves that disappearing would protect you from their sadness, their confusion, their broken emotions. Instead of letting you see them falling apart, they chose to suffer alone. And every day since then, they have been silently carrying the weight of missing you while pretending they are okay. That is the heartbreaking reason their messages stopped. Not hatred. Not replacement. Not indifference. Pain. Silent pain. And here is the shocking part, even now, they still think about you more than you know. Random moments during the day suddenly remind them of you. A song. A place. A late-night silence. Even your old messages still carry energy in their heart. They may act distant outside, but inside, your memory still echoes loudly. That is why your intuition refuses to let go. Souls connected deeply never separate easily. No matter how silent things become, the emotional connection continues speaking underneath everything. And tonight, while you are listening to these words, there is a strong chance they are thinking about you too, wondering if they made the biggest mistake of their life by staying silent. The frightening part is not that they stopped texting you. The frightening part is that they still open your profile when nobody is watching. Yes, my beloved child, this story is deeper than you think. Don't skip this moment. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you, and the next revelation may completely shock you. There is a hidden reason why your connection with this person still feels alive even after silence entered the relationship. Most people would have forgotten by now. Most people would have moved on completely. But your heart still reacts when their name appears. Your energy still changes when you think about them. That is not coincidence. That is emotional connection refusing to die. A strange thing happened after they stopped texting you. Their world became quieter. The laughter around them started feeling fake. Conversations with others became empty. They tried distracting themselves, pretending everything was normal, but late at night, reality returned. Your absence became louder in silence. They started remembering tiny details about you that they never appreciated before. Your words. Your energy. The comfort they felt while talking to you. And suddenly, they realized something terrifying. They were losing someone who truly understood them. But by then, they had already created distance, and they no longer knew how to return without explaining the truth. Listen carefully because this is where the story becomes heartbreaking. The reason they disappeared was not because they stopped feeling emotions. It was because they felt too much at once. They were carrying emotional pressure silently while trying to act strong in front of everyone. Every message from you touched emotions they were struggling to control. They feared becoming emotionally exposed. They feared saying the wrong thing. They feared losing you completely. And instead of risking honesty, they chose silence because silence felt safer than vulnerability. Imagine how painful that is. Wanting to speak to someone every single day while convincing yourself not to. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next truth is something almost nobody understands until it is too late. There are people who secretly love deeply but emotionally isolate themselves when life becomes overwhelming. They disappear into their own thoughts. They stop replying not because the connection is gone, but because they are mentally exhausted. And the more they care, the more difficult communication becomes. That is exactly what happened here. Your person entered a battle inside their own heart, and instead of asking for help, they locked the door emotionally. My beloved child. There was one specific night that changed everything for them. A night where they almost sent you the truth. Their hands trembled while typing. Their emotions were overflowing. For a few moments, they wanted to tell you everything, how lost they felt, how much they missed your presence, how your silence after their silence started hurting them too. But then fear returned. Fear whispered into their heart, "What if it is too late now?" And once that fear took over, they erased the message again. Since that night, they have been living between regret and longing. And here comes the once-in-a-lifetime revelation you were not expecting. Even though they stopped texting, emotionally they never truly left. Your energy still exists inside their daily life. Sometimes they randomly check if you are online. Sometimes they reread old conversations secretly. Sometimes they wonder whether you still think about them too. And the most shocking part? They are waiting for a sign, any sign, that the connection between you both is not completely broken. Do not scroll now. Stay till the end because something even bigger is about to unfold. The silence between two people is never empty. Silence carries hidden emotion, hidden fear, hidden memories, and hidden love. And in your situation, the silence became louder than words ever were. Every second without communication started creating emotional tension neither of you knew how to fix. But deep inside, they hoped you would somehow understand the pain they could never explain properly. My beloved child, your intuition was never lying to you. That strange feeling in your chest whenever you think about them? That emotional pull that returns unexpectedly? It exists because unfinished emotional connections leave powerful echoes behind. And right now, while you are hearing these words, there is a possibility that this person is also fighting tears they never show anyone. They may appear normal outside, but inside, they are carrying memories of you everywhere they go. And the next part changes everything forever. My beloved child, there is one detail you still do not know, and once you hear it, your entire perspective about their silence will change forever. Don't skip this part. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. What you are about to discover is the hidden truth behind why your person suddenly became distant even though the emotional connection between you both was stronger than ever before. The strange thing about deep emotional bonds is that they do not disappear quietly. They leave signs everywhere. And your person has been leaving signs without realizing it. Small signs. Invisible signs. Emotional signs. They may not text you anymore, but their mind still returns to you during the quietest moments of the day. Sometimes they pause randomly because a memory of you suddenly appears in their thoughts. Sometimes they hear a phrase that reminds them of your voice. Sometimes they stare at their phone hoping your name appears unexpectedly. But pride, fear, and emotional confusion continue stopping them from reaching out. Listen carefully now because this next revelation is something very few people ever understand. The moment someone truly realizes your value is often the moment they lose access to your presence. That is exactly what happened here. While you were slowly getting tired of the silence, they were slowly realizing how important you had become in their life. And the realization frightened them. Why? Because deep emotional attachment makes people vulnerable. Suddenly your absence started affecting their peace. Suddenly your distance started creating emptiness in places they never expected. And instead of admitting it openly, they hid behind silence. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next truth feels almost unbelievable. Your person tried convincing themselves they could forget you. They tried distracting themselves with daily life. They tried acting normal around others. But every attempt failed because emotional connection cannot be erased like a message on a screen. The more they tried avoiding thoughts of you, the stronger the memories became. Your laughter. Your energy. Your kindness. The feeling they experienced while talking to you. All of it continued following them quietly everywhere. My beloved child, there was a moment recently when reality hit them harder than ever before. They saw something that reminded them of you, and suddenly their emotions became impossible to ignore. In that exact moment, they understood one heartbreaking truth: losing communication with you was slowly becoming one of the biggest regrets of their life. But now they feel trapped between wanting to return and fearing rejection. They wonder whether too much time has already passed. They wonder whether you secretly hate them now. They wonder whether the connection can even be repaired anymore. And this is why their silence feels so heavy. Because silence filled with regret carries enormous emotional weight. Every day they think about sending a message. Every day they replay old memories in their mind. Every day they battle the same emotional question: should I finally reach out? But fear keeps interrupting them before they take action. Fear of being ignored. Fear of not knowing what to say. Fear that things may never feel the same again. Do not scroll now. Stay till the end because something even more powerful is coming. The next revelation explains why you still feel emotionally connected despite the distance. Deep connections create emotional echoes. Even when communication stops, the bond continues affecting both hearts silently. That is why you suddenly think about them at random moments. That is why your intuition feels restless sometimes. And that is why part of you still feels their energy even after all this silence. My beloved child, your person is not as emotionally free as they pretend to be. Outside, they may look calm. Outside, they may seem normal. But internally, they are carrying unfinished emotions that never truly left. And the most shocking part of all? They secretly hoped that somehow, someday, destiny would give them another chance to speak to you again. Right now, while you are hearing these words, there is a possibility they are staring at your old messages again. There is a possibility they are wondering if you still miss them too. There is a possibility they are fighting emotions they never admitted even to themselves. And that is why this story is far from over. Because the next part reveals the final truth, the one that changes everything. My beloved child, this is the part where everything finally comes together. Don't skip this. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you, and the final truth behind their silence is more emotional than anyone could have imagined. The reason your soul still feels connected to them is because unfinished emotions never disappear quietly. They stay hidden beneath silence, waiting for the moment they can no longer be ignored. Your person thought distance would make things easier. They believed silence would slowly erase the emotional attachment between you both. But instead, the opposite happened. The more they avoided you, the more your absence started affecting them. Every day without communication created a strange emptiness they could not explain. They began missing the smallest things: your energy, your presence, the comfort of your conversations, the feeling of being understood without needing to explain everything. And slowly, they realized something heartbreaking: they were not escaping their emotions. They were running deeper into them. Listen carefully now, because this next revelation changes everything. There are moments in life when people realize they have emotionally lost someone important, and that realization arrives too late. That is exactly where your person is standing now. They replay old memories in silence. They wonder what would have happened if they had simply been honest instead of disappearing. They wonder whether you waited for their message longer than they deserved. And sometimes, late at night, regret becomes so loud inside them that they cannot even distract themselves from it anymore. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Because what I am about to say is something almost nobody admits openly. Some people disappear not because they stop loving, but because they secretly believe they are unworthy of being loved properly. Your person carried insecurities you never fully saw. They questioned themselves constantly. They feared emotional failure. They feared disappointing you. And instead of facing those fears honestly, they convinced themselves silence was easier than vulnerability. But silence became its own kind of heartbreak. My beloved child, there is something shocking happening even now while you listen to this video. Your energy still exists in their daily thoughts. Even after all this time, your name still carries emotion inside their heart. Sometimes they almost reach out. Sometimes they type messages and delete them again. Sometimes they imagine hearing from you unexpectedly. And every time they stop themselves, the emotional weight grows heavier. The heartbreaking truth is this: they never truly wanted to lose the connection. They simply lost themselves emotionally while trying to protect their heart. And in the process, they unintentionally hurt the person they cared about the most. That is why the silence feels unfinished. That is why your intuition still feels restless. Because emotionally, the story between you both never reached a real ending. Do not scroll now. Stay till the end, because the final revelation is the most powerful of all. One day, this silence will speak louder than words ever could. One day, they will fully understand what your presence meant in their life. And when that realization completely reaches their heart, it will hit them with overwhelming force. They will remember the moments they ignored, the conversations they avoided, the love they were too afraid to express properly. And here is the once-in-a-lifetime truth you were meant to hear today: sometimes the people who stop texting are actually the ones hurting the most behind the scenes. Their silence is not empty. It is filled with fear, regret, emotional confusion, longing, and memories they cannot escape. That is why your heart kept searching for answers. Because deep inside, you already felt that this story was never about hatred. It was always about hidden pain. My beloved child, if this message reached your soul tonight, then remember this forever: real emotional connections leave marks that time cannot erase easily. Some people leave conversations, but they never truly leave emotionally. And maybe, just maybe, while you are listening to these final words, your person is thinking about you too, wondering if destiny will ever allow your paths to cross again.